taken the lives of so many people he loves.
Sandy Patience is one of only 800 people globally participating in the study, which aims to produce a treatment to slow progression of the degenerative brain condition, which is passed down through families and for which there is currently no cure. He's been speaking to our innovation correspondent, Laura Goodwin.
Red, blue, green, red, blue, red, green, green, blue.
Every 2 months, Sandy Patience travels from his home in Inverness to Aberdeen Royal Infirmary to monitor the progress of his Huntington's disease. Huntington's, or HD, stops part of the brain from working, causing problems with memory and movement. It's usually fatal within 20 years of symptoms starting. The faulty gene is passed down through families. As a little boy, Sandy first watched his grandmother and then his mum battle the condition.
When did you realise that your mum wasn't well?
All my life, really. All my life, you know. Sitting on your mum's knee, getting a cuddle, and I love you, Sandy. Or that would never, it's impossible to have happened. I'm trying to keep her from falling on the street.
Then his sister was diagnosed, and in 2017, so was Sandy.
I said to Laura, who has been with for 20 years, Laura, this is a game changer for us. This is it. I cannot be putting you through this living hell for 20 years. I want you to find someone else to spend the rest of your life with because I love you so much. And Laura's answer was, I love you too much, Sandy. But then I said, but you love Sandy now, not the Sandy I'm seeing a few years away, unless I have a miracle.
Take your time.
He's now taking part in a global study to find a compound to slow progression of the disease. The trial drug is a short strand of genetic code that binds to the mutant Huntington gene product. Samples of Sandy's brain fluid are analysed and he's then given the drug or a placebo. He doesn't know which.
Of course, I'm praying I'm getting the right drug. But if I'm not, I'm praying I'll get it in 2 years. And the benefits will be going worldwide.
We would all love it to stop the disease. We would all love it to make things improve. But it's quite likely that won't happen. But a goal, a hope, a dream is that it could halt the disease or at least slow its course.
And that would improve people's
And that would improve quality of life on a day-to-day basis and into the future.
For Sandy, helping to find a treatment has been a ray of hope in his family's long battle with this cruel condition. Second only to the news his daughter has not inherited the HD gene.
I'm over the moon, I'm on the trials. It's nowhere near how I feel about my daughter Kimberly and my grandchildren. It's just, I can't put that into words.
Well, John Eden is the Chief Executive of the Scottish Huntington's Association. John, we can see there from Laura's report and from the way that Sandy, so compellingly told his story, this is such a horrible, horrible, cruel disease, isn't it?
It's a devastating condition, and that's partly because of the way that it affects people. So it's affecting all of your motor functions, it's affecting your psychiatric well-being, and it's affecting your thinking processes, and later in the illness people develop a kind of dementia associated with the condition. But it's also genetic, and it's passed on at a 50% risk to each child of a parent that has the condition. So that means that families have got to live with this generation after generation. So you package all that together, it's a hugely destructive disease. And
just kind of bring us up to date on this, because there is no cure for this, but just how much exactly do we know about the disease itself?
We know a lot. I mean, one of the positive things about Huntington's disease is that it's caused by exactly the same faulty gene in each and every person that has the condition. So that makes it a good target for scientists who are trying to find a cure. So compared to other conditions like multiple sclerosis or Parkinson's, where we don't really yet know the cause, that's a positive for people with Huntington's.
And I imagine that you're cautiously excited about this trial. I mean, just how significant could it be?
I think it's hugely significant. So this is the the phase 1 part of this trial already lowered the levels of the faulty protein that causes Huntington's disease. And that's the first time that's ever been done in humans. So that in itself is hugely significant. If this part of the trial that's now taking place is really about trying to understand what the effect of that is on people over time, so that's why it's going to be 2 years long. And it's going to look at, does it actually slow down symptoms? Does it improve symptoms? What does it actually mean for people in terms of their day-to-day lives and their ability to live and function?
Yes, sadly, however long the work takes, it's going to be too late for some.
Absolutely.
Tell me this, John. I was hearing today that you were saying there 50% of the people, there's a 50-50 chance you're going to pass this down the generations. But a lot of people who have a parent with Huntington's choose not to take a test, at least until a lot later in life. Why? Why wouldn't they do it?
I think largely because there is no cure for the disease, and also because there are significant negatives to taking the test. So it might impact your ability to get life insurance, it might impact your ability to get into certain careers. So for example, you can't join the armed forces if you have a genetic risk for Huntington's disease. So there are lots of reasons that people would choose not to have the test that might actually outweigh the benefits.
That's really, really interesting. I mean, I imagine a lot of people watching this tonight would see the news of this trial and would feel a sense of hope. But I mean, what do you think the future does look like? And I mean, maybe the near future, not so near future, maybe 10, 15, 20 years' time for people that have this disease? I
mean, I'm hugely optimistic about the future. I think this, at the very least, this is a step in the right direction towards, hopefully, as Dr. Metsa said, slowing down the disease. But there are a next generation of treatments that are already in development, which look even more exciting, I think, for the future. So my view is that it's when, not if.
Yeah. Okay, well listen, thank you so much indeed, John, for coming in, and of course we wish Sandy and his family all the very best.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Nice to end that on a note of optimism, and let's try and keep the mood upbeat now with Laura McGee.